Welcome back to Buckets, WNBA edition. I am your host, Jim Turvey. We are back to our normal schedule. We had Dano on Thursday. We rolled him back on Monday. We had to get him 2 straight times. We're overworking, working to the bone here. We wanted to get back on schedule. We got Dano in here for a Monday night recording, Tuesday episode. Got a nice big slate. Another Minnesota-New York game. We managed to get them all in while both teams were hurt. You just love to see it. We will cover all that. We'll do a few more mailbag questions. But first, Dano, this is a short turnaround for us, but how was your weekend?
It was good. I turned 33 yesterday.
Happy
Very
birthday.
proud. Thank you. Shout out my Leos. I was super mad. I think so. I spread the floor. I had Sparks team total over 86.5. And Hamby has, I don't know if you follow Derek and Hamby, but her free throw shooting has improved. Insane. She gets fouled with a minute 30 and they're at 86, and I'm like, perfect. My girl's got me.
Oh, a minute and a half at the free throw line?
Yeah, no, and it was just turnover, layup. I mean, because I gave it, or I was going to give out the over. That's why you gave it that out of action. I was already on that. I was like, oh, well, Sparks will get there, right?
Yeah.
So at least I salvaged some money, and then I texted somebody. I was like, if the Mercury don't win, I'm joining a cult. It's a birthday present to myself.
Yeah, they managed to get it done there.
Thank God. Yeah, how was your weekend?
Good. We've got the puppy here, and it's not a hard pitch to get people to come meet a puppy. So we had some friends up to see Murphy, the new dog. He was good. So that was a fun weekend. Watched some W. Had the Liberty and Lynx game on while folks were here meeting the dog. Another L for the Liberty. We can talk about this when we talk about the game a little bit. You know how much we're weighing these games, how much we think the market's weighing these games, and all that. But it's definitely kind of annoying. I think every fan's annoyed of how these games played out. Probably could have seen the writing on the wall of putting all 4 matchups in the span of a month. Maybe not being the smartest thing, but we really got basically the worst outcome here, where neither team's been healthy, and the matchups have been great. I mean, the game was a blast. But it's just, how much does it really tell you? If this is the finals matchup, you love to look back on the season matchups. I don't think we're going to be doing that much if we do have a Lynx Liberty final, because there's not really much we could learn from these games. But any thoughts on that, or should we get right into the slate, which includes Lynx Liberty?
I don't care what people say. Like, it's the most poorly officiated game I've ever seen.
It was a rough weekend for the refs overall. That Seattle game too was there were bad calls both directions. It was a rough weekend for referees in general. Was it 32-8 free throws in that Minnesota?
I tweeted 32. It was 33. It's
33-8.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, not a great weekend for the WNBA refs. We've talked about them before. How that is not a strength of this league right now. They haven't had the resources for it to be a strength for a while, but it's kind of like all this other stuff with the league, where you're entering the big leagues now. You're getting more eyeballs. You're getting more money. It's time to pour that back into some investment in referees. Get yourself some real legitimate referees, because Lynx and Liberty fans, I mean, if you ask Lynx fans, they'll have plenty of thoughts on referees. It's not just doesn't go one way. It just hurts the product in general if you have games where the number one talking point coming out of it is the referees. That's basically the last thing you want as a sport.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go into the Tuesday slate. We got a nice big Tuesday slate. Again, the W has been nice to us on these Tuesday slates recently. We got 5 games. As mentioned, we have the Lynx at the Liberty. This is a Liberty home game. Liberty are -2.5. The total is 165.5. That opened, I believe, Liberty -1. Then when Fee got put as doubtful again, that's the second straight game she's been doubtful, moved to 2.5. I think there was a little bit of hope in the market that she would play based on that opening number, but we now have Liberty -2.5. Connecticut at Washington. Oh, and for New York, they still have no Stewie, no Izzy Harrison, no Niara Sabale. For Minnesota, it's only Fee who's doubtful. Connecticut at Washington. We've got Washington -6, total of 157.5. Connecticut fully healthy. Connecticut making a little noise, making things interesting. Had blew a big lead against Indiana, but had a really good first half. And they just kind of are an interesting team. Layla Khan there has really kind of popped as a young player to keep an eye on there, which is cool to see. On the Washington side, they'll be without GC Sheldon again, and then Steph Dolson will be out for this game. We got Seattle at Chicago. Chicago 11.5-point home dogs. That is a rough look when you are a double-digit home dog. Total of 158. Seattle is fully healthy. They finally broke their losing streak. That was good to see. They finally got a close win. For the Sky, Haley Van Lith and Ariel Atkins are probable. Angel Reese is questionable. She did practice today. We'll talk through this, I'm sure, as we cover the game, but I'm curious what that questionable tag is really like. But it's good to at least see her, listed as anything other than out for the Sky. We've got the Dream at the Aces. The Aces are 1.5-point favorites. They open 2.5. Total there's 165. Mostly healthy version of these two teams. We have Jordan Canada still out for a little while for the Dream, but other than that, both teams are healthy. Then the final game, we have the Phoenix Mercury at the Golden State Valkyries. Valkyries are 6.5-point home dogs. Total 155.5. Ileana Repair joins the injury report for the Valkyries, joining Monique Billings, a couple other folks they've had out for a while there. For Phoenix, pretty much everyone healthy. Monique Koa-Makani is probable. So, all that being said, Dano, what are your Tuesday best bets?
Tuesday best bets: Lynx Liberty under 165.5. Then I'm taking the Valks team total under 74.5. And winding it down with the Mystics team total over 81.5.
Nice. I have 4 best bets myself, and then we'll kind of go game by game and address all of our bets. But I've got the Atlanta Dream money line plus 110. Got Phoenix Mercury minus 6.5. Got Alicia Gray over 3.5 assists plus 105. Camila Cardosa under 10.5 rebounds minus 140. Let's go game by game here. So Minnesota and New York. You have the under in this game. I don't have any specific bets on this game. Definitely have some thoughts. We kind of teased it out at the beginning there. I'll defer to you to lead to kind of talk about this total, and we kind of set the scene for what is the final regular season matchup between these two teams on Tuesday evening.
I really thought Livs were going to get one in Minnesota and then turn around and lose this game. But we didn't get swept last year in the regular season. They won one, very ugly. I think it was 78-69. You had the pity party in the presser with Sabrina and I forget who else being asked, like, are we supposed to just drive harder? Like, is that going to help us, like, get calls? Like, I don't know. So I think that is going to play a factor. Like we see it a ton when coaches and players complain. And then Fibic had a quote today, I guess after practice. Fibic, quote unquote, as I said, for physicality, we're going to win on that game. Like, yes or yes, there's no other option. We're going to leave it all on the floor. And, I mean, we have to give it all we have. So I think the writing is on the wall. I don't know, maybe that's a sign to play the Lynx team total under. I think the Lynx are fine. If they don't win this game, they kind of own the Liberty from a matchup perspective this year. Sabrina's had one good game, maybe a good half or a good quarter maybe against the Lynx, besides that one good game where she had 30. Waiting for her to break out of her slump every time I think she's due, but still, I think this is a spot where the Liberty are desperate for a win, desperate to knock off a top dog for confidence. I think there will be some jitters, so I'm going with the full game under. I think it's going to be ugly, physical, and I think the Lynx get a lot less calls.
Yeah, I think it is going to be very physical. I lean towards the Liberty side, in part because of some of the things you laid out there. 3-0 series, Lynx, it's very easy to kind of let the rope go. 3-0, even in the postseason, let alone 3-0 in a regular season matchup where, you clinch that all-important tiebreaker. It would be shocking if the Lynx weren't the number 1 seed at this point. They've got, really healthy margin on the rest of the league. I'm curious to see when Fee comes back. We've now seen doubtful for 2 straight games. That if you hold some MVP tickets, you're probably wondering when they're going to bring her back. I think it's really going to be a matter of I think they do want her to get the MVP. But I think you bring her back for a softer matchup than this. I don't think she'll play. So I think that this number is probably going to stay right around here. I don't think the market thinks she'll be back either. I like that underlook based on, maybe some of the physicality Liberty are going to come in with. Let's go to the next game. We got Connecticut at Washington. You've got a Mystics team total over here as your best bet for this game. Talk me through that.
I think. I don't think the Sun are by any means a defensive stopping team, and they're coming off an overtime heartbreaker. A lot of players played a lot of minutes, like players who matter. And Mystics are kind of cooking. Shakira came back and was a force to start off the game, and then the fact that Dawson isn't playing, I think she had 2 threes yesterday, but still, I think that's a net positive with more Shakira minutes. I think people who say that rookie of the year race is somewhat already over and decided. Sonia makes so many big shots.
She's so good, dude.
I feel like she's at the point now, if she's got a bit of daylight and she takes a shot, I feel like it's going in. It's she's at that point for me. Kiki's fantastic. I think it's going to be they put up 104 on this team at home last time they played. And I think momentum is there with the Mystics. They're coming off 2 strong home wins, 2 50-point halves in the last 2 games. So I think this is very doable against the worst team in the league. So,
and we've talked about this before, where there really aren't that many gimme games. This is one of those games you have to win. They're still Washington's linger around the postseason picture. I think they're kind of the forgotten one in that playoff picture. There's a lot of interest in that, kind of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 range. But Washington's right there. And this is a game, if they want to be in the postseason, which, can you imagine a team with the future assets they have, the young talent they have, to be able to get in the postseason? That's the type of team that it is there is value to sneaking in that 8 seed, even if you lose in the first round to Minnesota. A team, some of these other teams, if you sneak in as the 8 seed, if Seattle were in that range, Seattle sneaking in the 8 seed just to lose in the first round, there's not that much value to it. Getting Kiki Ariafan, getting Sonia Citron, those playoff minutes are huge. So I think they'll really make that push and circle a game like this as let's push, get that pace up and make sure we win this game. So I like that play there. Let's go over Seattle, Chicago. I don't believe you have any plays on this one. I have a player prop here. I've got Camila Cardosa under 10.5 rebounds. So obviously part of this is Angel Reese popping up on the injury report, but I think I like this play regardless. So she's averaging 9.3 rebounds per game in this stretch while Angel has been off the court. So I don't mind this even if she doesn't play. I think you're really getting a little bit of value baked into the unknown here. It's a play that I'm intrigued by without Angel. I will love if Angel plays, obviously. If you look at her rebound rate, go back to our old friend PPP. If you look at her rebound rate with Angel on the court, it plummets. Ironically, she scores worse with Angel off. She actually, they kind of have a nice little two-player game there with Angel kind of able to create space for Camilla. So I don't want to do PRA. I don't want to do points. I don't want to do any of those that seemingly would be impacted by Angel being back. Rebounds is really the target here. Seattle does allow a decent number of rebounds, but I think overall, I really don't mind this. She had 4 rebounds in their most recent outing, 9 the game before that. So it's been going under this relatively often. She's had some big rebound games as well. But the chance to get Angel back and with a number that I think is just a little bit high right now, I don't mind paying a little bit of juice on the 10.5 rebounds. You got any thoughts on that play or this game as a whole?
Yeah, I also think I feel with Camilla, obviously we love it more if Angel's out, but if Angel's in. But with Angel out, I feel like Camilla has a baseline now for a minimum of 3 first half fouls. She
has been in a lot of foul trouble,
and especially with the usage of the bigs for Seattle now. If Malunga's getting a lot of run, I think you kind of have to play Camilla. So it's kind of the only thing. Maybe Marsh looks for spots to rest her early, but even so, that helps. But And it's not like Seattle's firing off a ton of threes, but this could also be a game where Sky just get played off the court and she just doesn't even play a fourth quarter.
That's what I was going to say. There's also, I meant to bring that into the cap. That's a great point. There's a very distinct possibility of a blowout here. We see, double-digit spread. We've been seeing a lot of blowouts in the W in general. Blowouts obviously help the unders for the player, those starting players, because they might not play the final 6 minutes of the game. Ironically, usually the losing team is the one that pulls their players first. So if you're looking for those blowout edges, target the losing team. Ironically, because they're usually the one that pull the players first. Any final thoughts there, or should we go to Atlanta and Vegas?
Will Atlanta Vegas do it?
So I've got the Atlanta money line here. I think you don't have anything on this game specifically. So I posted this in the app when the money line was around plus 125. It's come down to plus 110. I still like it. That plus 125 when it opened was basically the implication was that the Dream and Vegas are even teams. You see that kind of 2.5 point spread, kind of implying that these two teams are even. I don't see these two teams as even, honestly. I just think Atlanta is the better team. I know the Aces have been playing really, really well, but kind of to my point of thinking that they're the better team. So the Aces during this stretch, they're 9-1. This is the best basketball they're playing. They've got a plus 7.5 net rating. Over that exact same stretch, Atlanta is 8-2 with a plus 12.2 net rating. So better net rating, almost as good of a record. They are without Jordan Canada, but they have been the last 3 games. And it hasn't really slowed them down all that much. Part of that, and I'll use this to transition over to my player prop, Alicia Gray over 3.5 assists, is that Gray and Ryan Howard have really been picking up the slack kind of creatively. Ryan Howard had a really big game. We referenced that on the Thursday show with her kind of 9 points in the final minute of the third quarter against Seattle to kind of put that game away. But they've both been creating a lot. I was debating between Alicia and Ryan for their assists. I like both. You can get both at plus money. Ryan is 4.5. Alicia's 3.5. I might play both, to be honest. Figure that one of the two of them is going to hit. But I ended up going with Alicia. Just looking at, again, PvP, she has a little bit bigger of a bump with Canada off. So I like both those assist numbers. I like Atlanta money line in this game. Vegas definitely playing better with Jewel Lloyd off the bench. I still don't think that this is a crazy good team. I think they've run a little bit hot. I think they've played kind of middling schedule. I think Atlanta is arguably the second best team in the W right now. I mean, they've got the second best record, and they're really playing well. I don't think Vegas is in that tier. I think their one loss in this stretch was they got absolutely demolished by the Lynx. I don't think that's a surprise. I don't think with the best of the teams they are at that level. And I think Atlanta is at that level. So I'll be on the Atlanta side in this game. What are your thoughts on Atlanta and Vegas?
I love it. I'll tell you. I'm not giving it out, but I love it.
Yeah. I figured it wouldn't be a hard pitch to get you opposite the Aces.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. That team.
I will also say this is the game. I've been targeting these Aces games for same game parlays because their core players are playing very well in this stretch, and the defense still is pretty bad even in this stretch. So, I think Nalissa Smith, actually, I got to give credit where credit's due. I thought that was going to be a net negative for them, and she has helped them. I think offensively, she's gotten them a lot of second chance looks. The rebounding has been really good, and it's a weird thing. They addressed a non-issue. They almost built on a strength, but sometimes that can work too when you build on a strength, and it just makes you really good at that. So the offense has been better. The defense hasn't been all that much better, but the offense has been so good. So I'd probably lean towards the over in this game as well. Any final thoughts there, or should we move to the final game?
Yeah, I think with Nalissa, I think in Dallas and Indiana, she was probably always trying to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And way too much volume. And when you get put on a team with Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, I think it's your mindset has to immediately switch, or you're not going to play.
100%.
So credit to her for buying in. So yeah, I think I lean the over too. The number feels really, really low. Then again, like Aces have been shooting so hot. Kirsten Bell was like 4 for 4 from 3 in the first half against Dallas. So
and Smesko's really good at taking away those threes. I've been hitting the Jewel Lloyd overs. If we get a 12.5, I might try and zag and go under this game. I have to take a look at
that. Yeah. Like I feel like Atlanta, like against the Valks too, started off so cold in the first half and then just exploded.
Yep.
Like they're due for a 50-point half a game. It feels like too. So yeah, I'm with you.
And that's like a perfect transition because I'll actually go first on this one because you literally you alley-ooped me there with your comment on the Valks game. Final game is that Phoenix at Golden State game. I've got Phoenix -6.5. Again, obviously following the app, set up those notifications, grab the 5.5 when it opened. Still like 6.5. I probably wouldn't go too much past this, just because Golden State does still have a pretty good defense. But that Atlanta game, the second half kind of felt, and again, I don't want to be a Valkyrie skeptic. I love the Valkyries. I think Natalie is awesome, but they really, it feels like they keep missing more and more players. Ileana Repair has been playing really well for them. That seems like a minor piece, but on a team where all of the pieces matter, every single piece that goes out then kind of matters even more. So I think that we might start to see the Valks stumble down the stretch here. I see you have the team total under. I think we're thinking similarly here that the Phoenix is just a much better team. Phoenix, again, they're kind of in that Atlanta tier. It feels like Atlanta is a really good comparison in that they've got these coaches that I think Natalie against some of the lesser coaches in the league might be able to pick on them, but against like a Minnesota, against an Atlanta, against the Phoenix, those coaches are able to solve the neutralize Natalie's game plan a little bit more. And we saw in the second half, Atlanta really pull away. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a very similar script here where the game's kind of close at halftime and then Phoenix kind of hits the turbo in the second half. Talk to me about the team total unders. It's some of the stuff I was talking about. Is there any specific looks that you've got here?
Yeah, I think Rupert has been like incredible.
Yeah.
Like she, being able to pick and pop Veronica Burton is really difficult for defenses because you have to honor the shooter in Veronica now because she's hitting from she's almost 45% from three in like the last 12 games, and then Repair can pop and she could shoot, and she's like 6'4", so
yeah.
That size, it's not like she's a rookie either. She's got championship experience with the Aces. She's played under a lot of different systems, been a staple of France's team for a long time. So just a good piece to have. The Valks just die at some point. I do want to look into the third quarter overs, like just whoever they play. I feel like they're huge. But
it's funny because that's the Bay Area, the third quarter Warriors were a thing for so long. The Valks got flipped that juju.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, haven't scored over 75 yet in the month of August at home.
Wow.
Which is wild. They've done it on the road, but they've had some juicy matchups on the road. So yeah, I mean, I think Phoenix defense has been a lot better. They gave up some stupid points at the end of that game that should have not have been as dramatic as it was. But Seattle is not, not a terrible team. I think they're bad, but they're not terrible. So yeah, I think Mercury have to be paying attention to the standings too. You want home court advantage for sure, especially that team. You're only a half game up on the Aces, and right now they own the tiebreaker. I think they play one more time. No, they don't. So Aces have the tiebreaker there. Or they do play one more time next game in Las Vegas. So that'll be a huge game for them too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're look ahead spots, but I feel like the only look ahead spots have been like the Lynx and the Liberty before they play each other. But every game's important now as we get close to like 10, 11 games left for some teams, sometimes 9. So you really got to lock in and really should not be losing games you shouldn't be. And this is one of those games. Last time they played, they won by 1. It was really fluky at the end. Like Salon had a crazy 3. So I like your spread play too. I think I would play it probably past 8, kind of like where you're at. I mean, I could totally see Phoenix just absolutely going nuclear too.
Mm-hmm.
So those, for that reason, I'm on the Valks team total under. Hopefully Phoenix guards 3 well. I think the thing I worry about with like Phoenix, New York lately is the offensive rebounding. I guess defensive rebounding on their side. are leading to a lot of second chance points, and Valks crash like crazy. So that's just something to look out for and hope it doesn't bite you, and hopefully they're locked in on it, knowing how aggressive this team is. But yeah, love the Merc. Trying to fall back in love with them like I was earlier in the year.
Yeah. You mentioned the previous matchup. They won both matchups, and that was one of those was without
Yes.
Kalia Copper. The other was without Satu and Kalia Copper. So they've won both games even shorthanded. It should be a fun game. But every game at Ball Hall is. But what's up?
Oh, I almost already said it. Who's the only player who is not an all-star to score at least 25 points on the Valkyries? And I think there's been like 12, 14 players who have scored 25 points, and they're all been all-stars.
Wait. On the...
Against the Valks.
Oh, against the Valks. Oh.
Yeah. Who's the one player who's not an all-star who scored 25 points?
Was this your Sammy bet?
No. Sammy did that against the Wings.
Okay. Not an all-star scored 25 against the Valks. I can't tell if you're asking because it's Phoenix. That's why I went with Sammy. I'll do one kind of random guess, and I'll ask for a hint because I do love a random guess here.
She is not a starter.
So a bench player even. Oh, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to pull up a list of teams here now. Is it Naz Hillman?
Oh, no, good guess though.
Okay, give me one more. Oh, you give me a good hint. Maureen Johannes?
No.
Okay, give me one more hint, and then you can just tell me. We don't have to make the listeners listen to me guess 400 names here.
And I think I may have screwed up the actual stat. Maybe it's 20 points. But and it was 2. It was 2 out of. Oh, now it's changed because Kennedy Burke is also there, another bench player. And Jordan Canada just did at the end of July. This was during July, but the only player before that was Lexi Held.
Oh, I would not have gotten there, but there we go. I should have known there was a reason you were asking about Phoenix.
24 points in 27 minutes, absolute dog. And the fact that that's my worry with Nate. Like, why
is she falling out of the rotation?
Well, why is he playing 8-man rotations in August?
Yeah, there's not really a need for that. That is worth considering when we talk about all these coach of the year, because
Stephanie White does that too sometimes.
Yep.
And granted, they've had so much injury turmoil.
Yeah, theirs is a little more understandable. You know who doesn't do that? Cheryl Reeve. Cheryl Reeve does not do those tight regular season rotations. She uses those players, and then one of them will pop in the playoffs, and it has multiple. It's the biggest criticism I always have of Tibbs in the NBA. You just don't get guys fresh and don't even know what they're doing. They don't play with the players.
Well,
it's not great.
And Cheryl, I'll give her credit too. It's like we killed Maisha Hines-Allen.
Yes,
absolutely abused her. She didn't see the court again
in the finals.
Yeah,
exactly. That's when you can do it. But regular season, it makes no sense to be doing that. All right, let's move along. Survivor. Dano is our winner of Survivor.
Yeah.
Insert applause noise there.
Shout out Rakia.
Yeah, Rakia got it done. Kelsey Mitchell, very short. Not even really that close. 6 points.
I know, it drops 38 the next game.
Yep. Career high the very next day. But that is how it goes. So, Dano, do you know who you want me to donate to, or do you want to post on Twitter and have folks see it on there?
I don't know yet. It's going to be something to do with animal shelters for sure. We're rocking.
We did one of those last time
as dog dads.
It's 2 dog dads. It's very fitting. Ollie and Murphy will get their due. So we're gonna try and think of a way to creatively keep doing something in this vein other than just keep doing minus 150 or something. I'm gonna try and come up with an idea. Dan's going to think on it. Even producer David said he would give a thought. So we'll come up with next steps. We're going to just skip it for this week.
Or if the listeners have an idea.
Yes. Please. I mean, given all these mailbag questions that have now floated 8 episodes, if you guys have ideas that you think would be fun as kind of like doing something like Survivor, or if you can tie it somehow to the show Survivor and like we keep the theme going, that would be awesome. But anything like that as like a recurring bit, definitely send along, either DM me and Dano, or reply to a tweet, whatever you see fit. Fire away.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll go to the mailbag. Real quick, I do want to say football season is here, and we have got some huge improvements and updates coming on the award-winning Action Network app, which we're very excited to discuss in the weeks ahead. To get the most out of the app, you still need to be an Action Pro subscriber. It's only with Action Pro you get real-time pick alerts from folks like myself and the entire Action Network team of experts. Plus, you can access pro projections powered by Sean Kerner and the predictive analytics team, plus many other benefits. Right now, Buckets WNBA listeners can save $20 off the annual price of Action Pro. Just go to actionnetwork.com/pro and use the code Buckets20. It's actionnetwork.com/pro. Use the code Buckets20 for $20 off the annual price of Action Pro. All right, Dano, we're going to go to some mailbag. We have done a few of these. We still have some to go, and there's a couple of like chunks of questions. So I think I want to start with these run of questions. I'm going to rattle off 4 questions to you. Then we kind of go one by one, but kind of set the tone for this chunk of questions. We have Wes asking, what does the WNBA need to do to sustain and grow its momentum? We've got Evan saying, do you think the recent popularity surge in the WNBA will continue to do so, or do you think viewership will stop growing? We've got Adam saying, how can the WNBA capitalize on its recent spike in media attention? We've got Sammy asking, what can the WNBA do to build a stronger fan base? Obviously, all kind of in the same family here of building, sustaining momentum, growth. How do we keep it going? Is it going to keep going? A lot to take apart there. But what are your thoughts as you think about this kind of overarching question, Dano?
Yeah, I mean, need Caitlin to be healthy.
Yep.
Nothing you can do about that. Do I think the momentum will kind of die off? I do think there might be like a small dip. Like next year's class doesn't have the pop that the year after will have with Juju. I think the Juju pop will be crazy. And I mean, also coming out of that class will be like Tanaya Latson. No, Michaela Blake's will be too early. There's going to be some.
It's also Lauren Betts, right?
Yeah, Lauren Betts, but I feel like Lauren Betts isn't flashy enough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like
Phil Wiley get some eyeballs.
Yeah, she's still got So 2 years she'll be in the Juju class. That class is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Blage next year.
Yeah.
So I think, nothing is Flage. It's just not the same pop as, Paige
going
or Caitlin or Juju.
To Paige to blank to Juju. Yeah. So one of these is not quite like the other.
Yeah. But I mean, one thing that I think could help is, not make, the end consumer choose between games they want to watch.
Yes.
So, I mean, if there's something they could do, I mean, I'm sure ChatGPT could give you a solution on providing a schedule. I don't know why they, I assume Deloitte is helping them out on a lot of their stuff logistically, and, maybe time to go with a new firm.
What? Daniel, just a stray for Deloitte and no future sponsorships, I guess. For us.
EY laid me off in Christmas of 23. So I got Big Four experience, but
no hard feelings either.
No.
I mean, that's a good point. We had a couple questions here we haven't gotten to yet, but basically talking about how would you fix schedule and stuff like that. I mean, the answer is just don't put all the games on at once. Yeah, we have these schedules where it's 3 games at 7:30, 2 games at 10. The Sundays have actually been great. The Sundays they got a game at 3, a game at 6, a game at 9. That's how you should do it. Let people watch. Allow people who are your diehards, who, let's be honest, the WNBA for many years was just diehards. Those people are still there. Allow them to be your base that gives you solid viewership across games. If there's a Sunday full of WNBA action, I'm watching every single game of it, even in football season.
It was a great birthday for me.
Yeah, you don't overlap with NFL. You have the games on. It's just kind of, even if you're doing stuff, it's on in the background. Allow us to boost your numbers by not putting 4 games on at once. So I have to quad box Ion, and I don't even know if that counts for any viewership.
Today, as we're recording this Monday, is the last day, I believe, that will be without a game until playoffs.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, so
that is good. The slight minor tip of
there you go.
Slate and acknowledgement. I think I'm with you in that I think we, the last couple of years saw a massive increase. I think if you are saying based off of that trajectory, will that trajectory continue? No. But if you zoom out to a big picture and you look at kind of the last 8 years,
good point.
That the graph, and if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm just going steadily up. Then we had the crazy Caitlyn bump, but I think that very much that kind of steady growth that the league was on is maintainable. I don't think that is necessarily one that will slow down with a slow year like a Flage led class. We've got Sarah Strong coming in the league in the class after Juju. Sarah Strong, if you listen to the people who know college basketball, she's kind of replaced Juju as okay, that's the one who I think is going to be the real superstar. Now I think Juju has more eyeballs. I think Juju is more famous. I think Juju is more marketable. But Sarah Strong is going to come to the league, and for people who are diehards, I think really bring the Connecticut base is already following the W, but I think she's going to really kind of be like a Maya Moore of just winning very often, not flashy, but Maya Moore brought fans to the league, no doubt. I think Sarah Strong will do the same. I think that to capitalize on it, I really think it's, just put your players in position to succeed. I think one thing I think is interesting, and we've had this discussion on the show many times, is, to be honest, the ways it's not a good part of society, but the fact that the W keeps getting in these culture wars undoubtedly draws more attention to it. Now, I think you have to weigh the pros and cons of the eyeballs that you bring to the league. Like wearing the shirts that they wore with Pay Us What You Owe Us, they knew what they were doing. They knew it would get pushback. They knew that would become a story. They knew that people that they don't like would run with the story as much as people that, are supporting the cause. That's one way of doing it. Now, it also comes with a lot of negative feedback for the players. I don't know if it's healthy all the time. It's a balance, right? How big do you want your league to get? For a while, the WNBA fan base was kind of this, it was a lot of similar minded people who all kind of just love the W. But unfortunately, it's hard to make a ton of money if your base doesn't grow. So it's balancing these things and, figuring out where that balance point is of a fan base that can be supportive and, respectful, with also, you hope you can bring in more that would be respectful and supportive, but sometimes it is a tricky balance. And the more you kind of wade into tougher issues, the more you're going to bring in eyeballs, but also the more you're going to get, potentially negative feedback at times. So that was kind of a rambling answer, but do you have any thoughts on balancing that aspect of it?
No, it's well put. And it's, it is what it is. I don't know. I think we've really come a long way from even me personally. I've been watching the league for a while. Usually get made fun of. Now I just get asked questions all the time, about players and stuff. And look at, me, I'm definitely in the know with the card stuff. Boxes of WNBA cards are still more expensive than NBA cards now.
Yeah.
New product comes out, WNBA is going to be more expensive. Caitlyn's are selling for more than Stephon Castle's. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And actually that maybe is a way to circle back to that. How do you capitalize on it is stuff like that. How do you make sure that you are getting the most of that revenue? Do you have the right deals? You hire smart people for the league who are going to help you make sure you're getting every dollar out of that, so that you don't have to wade into the culture wars as much, and you can just do growth through other ways. Also,
get Asia Wilson on SNL. Get her to host.
Asia Wilson.
What are we doing?
If you've watched any of the videos of her, All-Star Weekend, her on the bench, she is one of the most endearing, funny, great personalities. Her fart stuff the other day. What was it? she's like,
I
can't
don't want to force it like a fart. Yeah.
All you end up with shit. I mean, that's a great line. And she just doesn't have enough eyeballs on her. You're 100% right. Get those stars that are really marketable out there. Obviously, Caitlyn has her fan base, but you've got a lot of great stars. And keep leaning on Caitlyn. Do the Caitlyn thing for sure. I'm not saying don't put Caitlyn out there. Do both. It's not an either or. It's a both and. So, good questions. Kind of all of a similar mindset. I think the fact that all these people are asking that means that people really care about this league and want it to succeed. Which is, you can will things to happen. If enough people will the W into like staying in this great moment that it's in terms of viewership, it will stay that way. So just stay engaged, make sure you're reading and listening to podcasts and watching games and control what you can control. So we went a little long on that one. Let's just do one more actually. And Dano, I'm going to ask you this one. I'm not sure if you've popped around to, I know you've done your fair share. I've done a few here and there, so I don't have as deep of a repertoire maybe, but David asked, what's your favorite podcast to go on? And then says, go Libs.
What's up, David? I like that. Anything with Maria Marino. Friend of the pod. Love her.
Who's doing, by the way, shout out, doing the ESPN digital pre-games. So make sure you go check out Maria over there doing great stuff, and try to get her on the pod at some point this year. I know she's pretty busy between that and being a new mama.
Yeah. Love her. I mean, outside of like BSIN during college season, I don't really do much.
I feel like you and I both we do some of the VSIN. We do. I went on. I'll shout out two of the people we had on this pod who had me on first. Who I love being on both their shows. Kate Constable and Trista Crick both have great shows. And Trista's got a brand new podcast. I mean, obviously she plugged it when she came on, but go check out those podcasts. There's so many. I'll expand it a tiny bit to ask if you have a favorite podcast on maybe non-betting on WNBA that you really like and want to shout out here as well. Do you have any of those that come to mind real quick, or YouTube or anything really?
Yeah, non-betting for sure. The athletics shows.
Yeah.
No off season. Ben Bickman, Chantel, Sabrina Merchant, and host by Zena Keita. Like, it's by far the best informational women's basketball podcast, I think, for like bar none. Super smart people, great interviews, just overall well done, and
really good rapport. They all you can tell that they are all friendly and all, which you always want with a podcast. It is a very top tier listen for sure.
Yeah, good people.
I'll shout out the Ringer WNBA show. Sirius Sohi is a really good one. Love 6 podcast of the year. I think I've shouted that out.
I love those guys. Yeah.
Shout out that crew before. Again, these are great episodes. These are great ones. They aren't betting specific, but betting is information. If you listen to those podcasts, I'm always getting information from those. If you're really you want one in your feed every day, the Locked On crew over there, they've got some good folks. I especially love the I think it's Saturday or Sunday episodes. They've got some pretty creative ideas. They just did I think they said they ranked what they thought would be the top 25 players in 2030, and that was a pretty fun episode. So
and then everything by Her Hoop Stats company man over here.
Of course, everything Her Hoop Stats.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, the Calvin Wetzel and oh my God, Karina Mustafa. Sorry, Karina, I almost blanked on Karina's name for a second there. That was a favorite, but they've got a lot that's like every day as well, and really good podcasts. So there's a million podcasts out there.
Oh yeah, pull up Miles and Owen.
And Owen.
So good.
Probably
had a great episode. Yeah, just had a great episode with Sammy.
They do lots of interviews. So if you're like an interview person, they get really, really good interviews as well. Yeah, so many good podcasts in the space. It's hard to think of all them. I'm sure we're zoning on one right now that right after we go, we'll be like, shit, how did we not think of that? Because saying pull up at the end was that probably should have.
Yeah, I know. I should have loved it. My bad. Miles and Owen. I'll buy you beer Monday.
Exactly. All right, let's wrap it up there. So a couple good mailbag questions, hopefully a fair amount of good bets for you. If you want to tail any of those bets, we talked about today, just look into quick slip links in the episode description. We'll also post our plays in the Action Network app. So make sure you're following both of us there. And if you don't have our notifications on, try and set those on. You get those right away. Download that app, like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, rate and review if you are listening to us as a podcast. Thanks to David Payne on audio, Gifford Gould on YouTube, and for Dano and myself, let's get buckets.